Hello ladies and gents, so we've got to the end of the tour and now it's time for us to make our way over for the next tour. So these flights are going to be done in a mixture of different planes. We're just going to try them all. I won't be reviewing any, even if it's the first time you've seen it, because this is just showing the route to our next location. We are not actually going to fly every single one of the flights, we are also going to jump seat for some of them. But for this first flight, we are flying from Keflavik Airport, Bravo India Kilo Foxtrot, to Nuuk Airport, Bravo Golf Golf Hotel. We have today a flight time of 2 hours and 50 minutes, bit of a long flight, with rather a heavy plane as well. We've got a lot of fuel on here today. So what we need to do now is to get ourselves pushed back and then we can get the engine started. So I will plan the pushback now. Ah yes, of course AVS isn't working today. I'll go to AV tab. See if I can do it this way. Nope, I seem to have lost all possibility of using any type of map. I can't bother to open up SimBrief, to be honest. Let's go up. That's runway 29. Oh, some military planes down here. This is runway 02. This is (20). Now let me just remember which one we're supposed to be going from. Runway 19. Well, where on earth is runway 19 then? I guess it's the one that's listed as 20. Okay, so we'll push back with tail to the right. Right, okay, here we go. Let's get this sorted. Looks like it's raining.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Right, we are ready, so let's call him.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, so it's a bit of a misty day here. This weather has just set in very quickly, actually. And we are in Walker Air today. Check out the joining link below if you want to come and join. It's a very fun VA, and they have these awesome Black Betty liveries. Sorry, liveries. I must apologise. I was given some feedback by Bill, and one of the wonderful pieces of feedback he gave me, which I was honestly not aware of, and it's something that's driven me mad for years. It's livery, apparently, not livery, so I'm going to stop calling it like that.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
You do that, buddy.
Winching strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Okay. That's the brake off. The beacon is on. APU is on. And I must also note that I have the FTSim CRJ 200 sound pack installed now, so things might sound a little...
Pushback, and you may start engines.
Things might sound a little different. So, we may start engines. Fantastic news. Let's get the ignition going. And idle, fuel cut off. So, engine 1. Monitor it up here. Past 15, so There's a better whine inside, actually. Let me just check my sound a second. I think I may. Yes, I have the external sound down, but that shouldn't make a difference. Okay, so that's engine 1 on. Engine 2. Just watch this. Once that gets to 15, we can put the fuel cutoff on. There we go. We wait for it to stabilize. So, engine 1 is stabilized, so generator 1 on. Which means we can now turn the APU generator off. And we can also now turn off the APU bleed. Okay, so that's the engine off. The APU off. We can turn off the ignition switch as well. Hydraulic switches on. Generator 2 on. And if we come down here, let's go to electrics. We have got power from both engines. Perfect. Fuel, we're good. Flight controls we can't check yet. We've got bleed air coming from both. Okay, nice.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, yaw dampers engaged. What was the other thing I wanted to do? Oh yeah. Standby on. Cool. Disconnecting hand signals. Yes, thank you. We can put the flaps down now as well. And because we're so heavy, we actually have a bit of a problem with the pitch trim. We basically need to go outside the limits. We need to go for 9.
Disconnected. Bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Hand signal on the right. Let's wait. Hey, buddy. There he goes. So, let's read the ATIS. Bravo India Kilo Foxtrot 10-14-00 Zulu. Wind, there's our hand signals. Wind 160 at 20 knots. 2500, that's the visibility. Light rain, overcast at 400 feet. Temperature and dew point both 11. QNH 1006. Okay. So he's heading off. Let's put on our taxi lights. And we'll put the wing inspection. No, we won't because I don't turn on. Right. Let's just do a quick flight control check. We can't do it on here, can we? No, we can't. But we can kind of see it on here. So, full right, full left. No, it's just trim. Full up. So let's do it from outside. Full left, full right, full up, full down. Let me just take off my shoes. Full right, full left. Okay. We are ready to rock and roll. Let's just get a little bit of thrust. That should hopefully be enough to get us moving. There we go. Well, I'm just going to taxi straight ahead. Okay, more thrust required. Okay. That's better. That's better. So, like I said, we are just going to taxi straight down there. In fact, let's go for this view so I can zoom out a little. So, the runway we want is over there, so we're just going to taxi along here. Probably something that isn't done by me or anyone else for that matter that often. Bit of a weird view for taxiing, but there we go. Ground speed is 20 knots. We are blowing a bit, even though we're on the ground. Over there you've got Iceland air being decompressed, I was about to say. We are now travelling far too fast. That's better. Okay. So let me just load up Avitab again a second, because it's got my runway heading, I think. Runway 19, course of 194. Okay, so let's set the heading bug to. I'll load that up so you can see it. 194. Perfect. And here we go, we are about to enter our runway. So again, let's just slow down. No need to be going so fast. Put the landing lights on as we go through. And turn off the taxi lights. Put the strobes, and we'll put the logo light on as well because it is a bit dark, so we'll get a bit of logo goodness going on. Oh yes, a bit of logo goodness. Get that guy shining in the light. Okay, a bit more thrust just to get us on the runway. Come on, girl. Come on. Okay, heading mode armed. Just get ourselves lined up nicely. Okay. Thrust levers to 70%. Power set. Thrust levers full. Airspeed alive. .100 knots. Bring this up so you can see it. V1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. No, I'm not quite sure That's better. So, speed. Drop that back to 171. Autopilot on. And let's just see, where's our first point? It is over there, so let's turn our heading so that we can intercept. And then we can engage nav mode. Okay. Quick look outside to see what's going on. Still got the flaps out, so let's bring the flaps up. Whoa, Nelly. That's flaps up. We can now open this, go to the performance menu. We can go into climb thrust. There we go. Just to give ourselves a little bit of extra power. Now, as we've passed 6,000, I'm a little bit behind. I should have already done this. Standardized. Nice. I'll put it back into HPA after. Oh no, no it won't. We'll leave it in inches. Why not? Okay. So, we're now going to turn the heading just a little. Just to 120, just so I can intercept. And then we'll arm nav mode, and that will automatically now pick up the path. We can now bring the speed up to 250. You notice the plane begins to pitch down so that it can build the speed up. And we're now perfectly on path. Nice. Okay, so what have we got in terms of legs? Oh, just passing 10,000, so landing lights off, logo lights off. I've just noticed we had some away points to obey on the departure, but we're going to scrap them because if I zoom out, that's Pixum. You can see we're going the opposite direction, so we're actually going to turn back now. So what comes after Pixum? KFV. So direct to KFV. Execute. The plane is now going to pull a complete 180, as you are noticing, so that it can try and get us back there. And I'm going to leave the speed set at 250. We don't really need to climb any higher. We're climbing straight up to 32,000. However, as this is a passenger flight, seatbelts to off. Let's give those packs a little bit of a break. We're just going to keep climbing for now, basically. We've had great fun here in Iceland. It has been a pleasure, but it's now time to move over for our next tour. Time to go and have some fun in another part of the world. Yes, that's correct. So, still climbing nicely. Currently climbing at a rate of 3,400 feet per minute. That's pretty good. So we could increase the speed a little. I'll open that back up so you can see it. Just makes things a bit easier. put you up to 280, I think. We'll see what rate it can climb at when it's at 280. Okay, it's starting to pitch up again. $2,800, 3,000, 3,2, 3,4, 3,6, 3,8, 3,9, 4. This is a very fast climb, to be honest. So he reckons he can hold this climb. Currently, still got a long way to go. It's going to drop as we obviously get a bit closer to the higher up, is what I mean. As we get higher up, the rate of climb is going to drop. But he's doing pretty well so far. Cruising speed today is going to be, let me just have a quick check, I didn't have it written down because I'm a numpty, Mach 0.72, that will be cruise speed for today. And top of descent will be 62 nautical miles before we get there. That will be today's descent location. So there we go. Passing back over the top of Keflavik, leaving Iceland. Goodbye. We will see you soon. Oops. And I am going to continue this flight. I'm going to head over, and when we get close to descent, I'll say hello. See you there. Okay then, we are now about 8 nautical miles from the point where we will start descending. I have done a quick calculation of how fast we need to descend, and if we descend at a rate of, just load it up, 1929 above 10,000 feet and 1781 below, we will meet our target in time. So I'm going to round that to 2,000 feet per minute above 10,000 feet and 1,800 below, which means we'll have a little bit of time at flat level flight, but it's not a big deal. So at 62 we will start descending. We don't want to do it too early, because if we do it early we run the risk of making a mess. It is far better, I think, to do it slowly, you know. Slowly, catchy monkey. Okay. Are we on the right heading? Not really. We're just turning now. Let me load that up so you can see it better. Okay. We are, I believe, in cruise. We are, yes. Let's come down here, load the perf page, and we'll go to max continuous thrust. That will be perfect for us. So let's start descending. Vertical speed, set the altitude down to 4,400. That's going to be our first point, but we can start going down already. So 2,000 feet, there we go. And we'll keep dialing this down. In fact, we'll dial it to 10,000 first, that would be useful. Then we can make sure that we don't exceed the speed limits as we pass 10,000. So pull the throttle, thrust levers right back. I want to make sure we're not over speeding. Okay, now I'm going to show you something. This is something I was very disappointed with. That is Greenland. Unfortunately, Austin and the gang did not model the entire part. They only modelled a small section of the island, which, yeah, is quite disappointing, but it's not a big deal, I suppose. Right, we're still accelerating. So let me just double check. What is our heading? I've got it in sim brief, so unfortunately you guys can't see it. I'm really sorry about that. I do sometimes try to get it all in the same window, but alas, to no avail. Right, we should be coming in. That's the wrong approach. How did I get the wrong approach? There we go, that one. That makes more sense. I put the wrong approach into here. Right, heading of 225, so, sorry, course of 225. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the heading, let's go this way. So this is a nice trick that I found, I think I mentioned it in one of my videos before. It's a nice trick I found from a real world pilot. That's where we're heading right now. So switch on to heading mode. Now we can change the nav source to nav1, and we can change the course to, what did I say, 225. So that's the course setup. Awesome. Back to FMS and back to nav. Okay. Now, as for localizers, there are none because this is an RNAV approach. So, yep, unfortunately we don't have it. But what I can do is I can now check what the weather is due to be like. So, what did that say? So, wind variable at 6, direction from 170 to 240, visibility greater than 10 miles, clouds broken at 2,000 feet, temperature 7, dew point 3, no reported precipitation, altimeter 29.77. Okay, so we're going to need some icing, I think. Where's the icing? I don't even remember. Can I turn these on? Probes on, cowls on, wing normal. And I turn the windshield on as well. Cool. We don't need to put the lights on yet for whatever his name. What's he called? Pax. The passengers. Passengers don't need to have theirs on yet, their lights. They're still good. All good in the hood. So, descending nicely, no big issues at the moment. 34 nautical miles out. Let's pause a moment. So, let me check the descent calculator. Let me see if I can share the descent calculator first. I can. There we go. Now you can see descent calculator. So figure vertical speed. So we're currently 24,000. Target altitude 4,400. Speed above is 260. Speed below is going to be 240. Start miles before. How many miles? You can't see this because I've got Chrome on top now. We are currently 33 nautical miles away. We need to give ourselves at least 7-8 miles. So 25 nautical miles, let's say. We should be descending at 3,400. Right. 3,400 it is then. We'll turn Chrome off. And let's change this. And we'll pull the throttle all the way back to idle now. So we are now descending far, far quicker, as you can tell. Speed is climbing, but we will stabilize that speed when we get closer to 10,000. In fact, I'm going to make it 40, and I'm now going to put the seatbelts on. because we need time when we get to 10,000 to actually slow. Ground speed is increasing. It's not good. Because we are, of course, increasing speed. So I think we should put the spoilers out. Try and slow ourselves down a bit. Spoiler use above 250 is probably not a good idea. But we're doing it anyway, because we need to be perfectly honest. Right, and back to Navigraph. I can now look at the chart correctly. We will appear on there momentarily. So we are really not far away now from where we should be. Right, retract the spoilers. In fact, we'll leave the spoilers on about 3/4. Nuuk, I believe. There we go. That is. Oof, apologies. That is us, I think. Right down there. So we are really, really high. This is not good. And take the speed back to 240. Yeah, we're going missed. Excellent. So, as we're going missed, what's our missed approach altitude? Transition altitude is 7,000. Missed approach altitude is 5,000. Okay. Well, we're pretty close to 5,000 anyway, so I don't think that's a massive deal. We were trying for 4.4, so that won't be a bad thing. So we're going to actually get ourselves to 5,000 after we've made this descent. What have we got outside? Not a bad view. In fact, especially if I turn those off. It's not a bad view at all, is it? Look at the angle of the plane. It's a little bit too much there, I think. Right, we're now coming out of our descent, which means we're going to drop speed very, very quickly. And as we drop speed, we change this guy down to 5,000. And we'll do it as a speed descent. We'll do it at 240, because why the hell not? And as the spoiler's armed. Not armed, sorry. The spoiler's stowed. Really, the better way to do this is to pull the throttle back to idle and then tell it to do a speed descent. But because there's no VNAV in this aircraft, it can be quite difficult to judge what speed you should be descending, and you'll have to do it all manually. So I find it's better to try and calculate what I should be descending at. Of course, that might not be the correct way to do it, might not be the best way. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I've got a sneaking suspicion it's a really terrible way of doing it, but there we go. We are about to overfly the airport. Yep. Excellent news. Overflying the airport is always good. We do have PAPI lights, apparently. They will come in handy later. Right, I'm jabbering. I keep doing this in all my videos recently. Altimeter 29.77. So, there we go. Altimeter set. And I can see that we should now take a heading of 270 for the missed approach. Turn them in a moment. There we go. Let's turn to 270. Fly the missed approach. Almost down to the correct altitude, so not a big deal. Actually, we can descend to 4-4. Oops. This is where X camera is very useful. We can descend to 4-4 because 5,000 is if we're going to pull the hold, which we're not going to do. So we're going to need to put some thrust back in. And I'm going to check my loading chart. Now this is something that none of you have, it's one that I custom created. So I can see my landing speed is going to be 138 knots. So I will get down here, I'll dial this in. 13, get slow, chill out. I can see the speed is increasing. Sorry, that was my phone. 138, perfect. So that's our target speed. Right, now heading of 360. In fact, we'll turn straight to the heading of 053 because we blew past the 360 turn because I was messing around looking at target speeds. And I think what we'll do is we'll start getting the flaps out. So we can see here flaps 8 should be below 215. Okay, so I'm gonna get the speed bug down to 210 and let's let the just reduce the throttle, let the speed drop back down. So there we go, the speed is just bleeding off a little. Doesn't have to do it that quickly. We've got plenty of time. I'm in no rush whatsoever. We've now got about 13 track miles until we make a turn for final. If we look out the side, can we see the airport? Yes we can, yes we can. There it is. It's quite a small airport, isn't it? I think there is a bigger one. But this is the one I chose for the travelling across the world. Right, let's now get the first set of flaps. We'll go to the second set, which is 20 degrees. That's the most we need to go to. We don't need to go any further. So for that, I'm going to set the speed bug to 200, which means we're almost there. So flaps 20. And now we're going to have to give it a little bit more throttle. As you can see, the speed is just dropping. A really big ballooning effect then when we put those flaps out. So a bit more throttle. We're a bit far away from that 200 mark at the moment. But we are increasing. Slowly, slowly. Right. Looks like we've got about 6 miles left. 6-7 miles. I tell you what, missed approaches can be incredibly boring. It really can. And I'll set the speed bug actually for the next set of flaps, which will be flaps 30 at 185. So for that, we'll be going to a speed of 170. Yep. Keep getting a bit of a flashing up here with the speed. I'm not quite sure why. I'll just do a quick check of the winds. Variable wind direction 170 to 240. Temperature 7, dew point 3, altimeter 29.77. Yeah, everything's the same still. Outside air temperature is currently 0. True air temperature is 4. Which means it is a little chilly. But then again, we are at Greenland. Ironically, a place with a lot of ice. And we come from Iceland, a place with not so much ice. Something to ponder on. I know, I'm talking nonsense. Right, nav source. Let's change to nav 1. Of course, we don't have any radio antenna to pick up on or anything like that, but it's good to know. And decision height. So, decision height is... If we're on LNAV only, it says LNAV VNAV. How could you be on VNAV? Strange. Anyway, so we're on LNAV only. So we are 1,079 feet. So we'll go for the 1100 mark. Whoops, there we go. I'm getting a bit too eager there. Right, let's turn for a heading of 135. And this will now be our base turn. So I'm going to drop the speed a little, the throttle, let the speed start bleeding off again. If we look outside, we can see the airport is over there in the distance, over there. So we're just turning to make a final intercept. Oops, I hate it when it does that. Really do. I've tried messing around with head shake so much to get it correct, and it still does this. It drives me nuts. Unfortunately, there's no heading hold, I don't think, because I would like to hold. Well, I guess if I turned heading mode off. Oh yeah, there you go. So it now holds the heading for me, kind of. I don't think it's really supposed to work like that. And then I can press heading whenever I'm ready. And that will automatically turn us back onto the heading mode. Cool. Okay, 4,400. We have to descend a little. We have to descend to 3,000 feet. So, that's heading. And set the altitude to 3,000. And we'll do a speed descent. What do we say? 170. Pull this throttle back a bit. We are a bit off, so I'm just going to turn the heading to 235 so we can try and align ourselves a bit more. Good news is we are now descending. Slowly but surely, pull the throttle back a bit more. There we go. Nice. That's better. It's looking good. We are off track, but we're coming back on, so not a massive issue. And I think we're going to reach 3,000 at the correct time as well. And then, of course, I will hand fly us down. Or at least that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. I do like hand flying. It's just sometimes it's a little difficult. Sometimes I really balls it up. Alright, so that's 3,000. Flaps down. And landing gear deployed. Right. More throttle, please. Just for now, and speed of 138. That's our final approach speed. So, let's go back to a nice view. Autopilot is now disconnected. I have control, which means, yeah, we're okay. So, let's start going down. Pull the throttle back because we're coming in too fast at the moment. So, at a ground speed of 160, we should be descending at about 900 feet per second, which is what we're currently doing, just a little bit higher than that. Of course, I'm also off target. Thank you. We really do need to get back on target quite quickly. And I need to get those final set of flaps out. Oh, and we can now as well, if I just move the view. Let's arm the spoilers and the thrust reversers. Okay, now we're coming in quite quickly, but that's not a bad thing. Just means we have time to get ourselves lined up, because we're still off at the moment. I'm pretty sure we're now below the glide slope. Whoa, Nelly. There's a bit of wind for us. So, you know what, I'm so used to hand flying that Cessna recently that this guy feels just a little bit too easy to fly. And he doesn't behave in the same way, of course, which is why I just started plummeting to the ground, because I hadn't noticed that I didn't have enough thrust on. Is that 2 red, 2 white? Am I spot on? Apart from the fact that I'm bobbing around like a maniac in the wind we've got going on. Oh, 3 white, 1 red. So we're not bad. Not bad at all. Now it's 4 white, great. So we have approached minimums already. I was expecting a minimums call out, but you know, we didn't get one. Okay, here we go. No, we're going around. Gear up. Flaps up. That was far too long. Okay. Chill out, mate. Alright, let's go to 4-4. Autopilot engaged. Speed. Climb at 194 and climb at 240. Whoa! Ah, useless. Right, heading of 90. No, not a heading of 90. Heading of 50. 3. Or maybe just 3. Let's go 10. I'm looking at the missed approach chart and I know that I'm a bit too far off it at the moment, but I can't see how far off. Oh, that was useless. Can't believe that. It's a good job we got plenty of fuel in here, to be honest. Oh, whoops. Landing lights weren't turned on. Uh-oh. That's a boo-boo from me. A big boo-boo. Right, bring that throttle back down. Come on. There we go. That's what we need. Keep throttle under control. I'm really sorry about that, guys. That was just a terrible, terrible landing. Well, it wasn't a landing, was it? That was the problem. Useless. Really, really useless. I think I need some coffee. That might help. I don't know why I'm drinking coffee. It's currently 32 degrees. I'm not sure coffee is the right thing to be drinking, but there we go. Right, this time I'm going to not fly the approach chart completely, because that will take far too long. And I know it's boring watching me do missed approaches. So, heading 53. Okay. Altitude 3,000. I'll do a descent now. In fact, we've got so much time to do it. We're going to do it at a speed of 180. Okay. And what that means is we will be able to actually get the flaps deployed as we fly this path. Of course, we're currently not descending because we're too much thrust. There we go. That's better. Coming back down the tape. So 215 is the minimum. Or the maximum, sorry, for a flap extension. We'll get a bit lower than that, I think. Would be useful. There we go. 210, that'll do. So that's the first set of flaps extended. Once we pass 200, that's the second. And when we get down to our desired descent speed, there you go. Third set. Excellent. So we are now descending quite steeply. Not sure why. Let's put a bit more thrust in so that it stops descending as steeply. It really doesn't need to do that. And now that we're ready, heading of 135 to intercept. There we go. And more thrust I think I just said, more thrust needed to maintain that 180. I did try setting up the joystick visualizer, but unfortunately, because I've got the Thrustmaster, it doesn't seem to like it very much. I'm hoping that maybe it will be more accepting of my TCA when that comes. Because I've ordered the Thrustmaster TCA Officer Pack. That will be arriving start of October, I believe. So maybe the joystick visualizer will work better with that. But I cannot be sure. Okay, 2,500 feet. Runway should be off to the right. Can't see because we've got this pillar in the way. There it is. There she blows. Right. Heading off 225. This time I'm not going to make the mistake of waiting last second, I think. We're actually going to turn a little bit earlier. So it's now within 2.5 miles. I think now would be a good time to turn. And now would also be a good time to get that speed down to, what did we say, 138. So we'll get ourselves lined up before we drop the gear. There's absolutely no need to drop the gear now. We are still approximately 7, I would say 9 miles out. That does not look like the right course. No, we're too far off to the right. So, well, he corrects himself slightly. I'm just going to bring it back in. I would much rather we were lined up nicely to start with. It will make life so much easier. So that should be good. Okay. Now we'll turn to 225. And then I can disengage autopilot. Okay, that's us lined up. Let him. I now have control. Gear down. Flaps full. Reduce throttle. And pitch down. Reduce throttle further. And let's keep an eye on these pappy lights down there. Thank you. Still on 4 whites. And I can't remember what 4 whites are. I'm having like mental block. Right. Throttle back further, please. At least, we are lined up this time. We might be a little high. Oh no, whoa, crosswind. No, it's headwind. I'm pretty sure I saw a red light. I did see a red light. We've got one red. Right, so we're better. Oh, is that two? That is two red lights. Right. So that's minimums. Proceed. Continue even. Let's just check. Spoilers are still armed. So are the reverse thrusters. Okay, now we're too low. Now we're a bit too low. Am I going to stall if I don't pick it back up? Come on. I don't often fly RNAV procedures in the CRJ, I'll be honest. I usually fly ILS procedures. Or visuals. Whoa. This is not good, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. We're getting down this time no matter what. Come on. Runway excursion. Oh no. Made it into a residential area by the looks of it. Okay. Oh, that was excellent, wasn't it? Look at that. It was absolutely useless. So we're just going to have to pretend that never happened, really. Cannot believe it. And it appears that we're stuck. Let's try not to drive through the trees. I know we've already been completely unrealistic here. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Greenland. Let's just pretend none of that ever happened and it was a perfect landing. Yeah, I know. Because that was just terrible. 2 failed attempts, and I was so well lined up that time. That's the worst thing. Don't know what... I do know what happened. I messed it up. I was about to say I don't know what happened, but I do. I really messed it up. I made a complete pig's ear of it. And I'm sorry, because it ruins the immersion completely when I do silly things like that. At least we are on the ground. Technically quite a few people will have died then, I think. But we just have to pretend that they didn't. How do pilots even turn on a dime like that? Maybe it's not designed for planes as big as mine, and that's why. Probably not, because that's the GPU up there. Bit more thrust then, please. Let's go and park over there where we probably should have parked. Okay. Not quite sure what's going on with the view here. Where's my parking brake? There it is. It's on. Oh, what a shocker of a flight. Alright, let's get the APU on. You know what? It's not a shocker of a flight. It was just a shocker of an ending. APU coming online. I promise, next flight to be better. Promise. Couldn't be worse really, could it? Right, APU's on, so just knock that off. There you go. APU generator on. APU bleeds. Generator 1 and generator 2 off. Hydraulic pumps off. Anti-ice off. Okay. So, engines off. Just wait for them to spool down. Wait for N2 to get down to about 10% before we turn the beacon lights off. It's a long shutdown procedure actually, isn't it? Left engine, low oil pressure. That's because I've turned the engines off. Duh. Come on, guys. Still 93 degrees. Plenty of heat coming out the back of them. How are we doing? Right, that's good enough. Beacon lights off. Let's go here. We can get the door open. Let's get the GPU connected. Which apparently is the noisiest GPU in the world, by the way. I do not know why. It's just so noisy. Okay, so IRS off. Yaw dampers off. Everything is okay, apart from that. I should go to standby. The spoilers are all sorted. We are looking good. Flight directors off. APU generator can now come off. Bleeds off. APU turning off. Look how quickly that thing winds itself down. Temperature still 91 degrees in those engines. Temperature here drops really quickly. Cabin altitude is 217. Really? Oh, it looks like I closed sim brief. I didn't mean to do that. Interesting. Right, well there we go then, ladies and gents. We have arrived in Nuuk. Next time we'll be flying to Canada. So thank you very much for watching. Promise it won't be as bad as that again. And I will see you again soon. Bye bye.